What do I do with that? In the chat? Oh, okay. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Welcome to PRSA Detroit Chapter's annual meeting. Thank you for being here. I'm Sharon Tatum Garcia, APR, PRSA Detroit Chapter President. We have a packed agenda this afternoon. We will vote in next year's Board of Directors, pass the gavel to incoming President-elect Michelle Gilbert, recognize this year's newly accredited APRs, provide a scholarship to a deserving college student, and recognize a few members with our highest honors, the Nancy Skidmore, Hefty, and Hall of Fame Awards. But first, some housekeeping. Chat with each other and connect in the chat. We're virtual, but this is our time to connect, so get social. Find us on your favorite social platform at PRSA Detroit and use hashtag PRSA Detroit. As always, thank you, thank you, thank you to our sponsors. You may remember meeting me last year during the annual meeting when I laid out the priorities I wanted to focus on during my tenure. My overarching objective was that every member would find value in their membership through networking, mentoring, and professional development opportunities while supporting district and national strategic plans. One thing we implemented right away was a 15-minute networking opportunity after our virtual programs. Without fail, the program presenters, panelists, and moderators agreed to give of their time and stay on for an informal networking session. This gave members that opportunity to mingle and have FaceTime with the program experts and each other, which makes connecting on LinkedIn a little less awkward. My priorities changed very quickly in April when Nancy Skidmore, PRSA Detroit's beloved executive administrator of 33 plus years, announced her retirement. Rather than putting my attention on the outwardly facing development of the chapter, I turned inward, bringing our leaders, our executive board, board of directors, and committee volunteers together and challenging them to join me in learning the operations of the chapter. We knew that we couldn't just hire another Nancy, impossible. Things we leaned on Nancy to take care of, we had to learn so that when we did hire someone, we would know exactly what we needed. Our first challenge was learning chapter finances. And I'd like to thank our treasurer, Mary Beth Farkas. She did not sign on to do this level of accounting for the chapter, but she leaned in, learned the books, and joined me in the research needed to hire a bookkeeper who now helps us close the books each month. We moved our bookkeeping process off the paper and onto QuickBooks, which makes next year's treasurer's role much smoother and easier. We also took a look at our program promotion, email communication, and member cultivation processes. And I'd like to thank Secretary Taquanda Johnson and the website, membership, and program committees who worked together to research member association platforms in an effort to move cultivation to a one-stop integrated digital system. The website URL will stay the same, prsadetroit.org, but the capabilities within will make program promotion and RSVPs and payments and member cultivation much more seamless. Stay tuned and check back to prsadetroit.org in mid-December to see our new look and capabilities. And while many of us were working on the internal processes, the program, blog, and social media committees were collaborating with the ethics, diversity, scholarship, and accreditation committees to keep PRSA Detroit chapter visible and in the forefront, turning out excellent professional development programs and digital content that provided professional insights, information, and connection to our members. Thanks to PRSA Detroit chapter board member and program committee chair, Jeff Atkins, our chapter developed and presented 15 free virtual professional development programs covering a wide variety of relevant topics. We also posted 30 blog posts this year, not to mention the near daily social media posts. Every committee stretched themselves this year to understand their timelines and execute upon committee roles and responsibilities. It was very rewarding to see committees working collaboratively to get jobs done. I could not have gotten through this year without the leadership and commitment of the executive board. We met weekly in the beginning, learning the timelines, banking systems, processes, procedures, heck, even the passwords. Thank you, President-elect Michelle Gilbert, Treasurer Mary Beth Farkas, Secretary Taquanda Johnson, and past President Kim Eberhardt. Finally, I'd like to thank my team at the Salvation Army for their support of my PRSA membership and my presidency. Not only did they support me personally, the organization supports PRSA as a whole. They understand and place a value on the APR credential in their hiring of communications directors. And this year, they even signed on as a chapter sponsor. Thank you again to the Salvation Army team. I'd like to take a moment to recognize members with 25 years or more of PRSA membership. I have unofficially named this group the 25 Plus Club. We have 55 members who are being recognized for 25 plus years of PRSA membership this year. 20 members have 25 to 30 years of membership. 23 have 30 to 40 years of membership. 13 have been members for 40 years. 11 have over 40 years of membership. 6 with 45 or more. 3 with 50 years. Over 70% of those recognized are APRs. 3 are PRSA fellows, and 1 member has been a member for 55 years. Thank you for your longevity in this profession and for continuing to support our professional association. We want to connect with you and connect you with each other. We're looking for ways to better serve you and also share your stories. Stay tuned in 2022 for a chance to network with the 25 Plus Club. We now move to the elections portion of the meeting, where we vote in our new cabinet of PRSA Detroit chapter board members. Kim Eberhardt, past president and chair of the nominating committee, will lead this portion of the program. Kim?
Thanks so much, Sharon, and thanks to everybody for spending another virtual program PRSA annual meeting with us. Eventually, we are optimistic we'll be able to get back together. It's my distinct pleasure as immediate past president to present the slate of 2022 officers for consideration. First up, joining the for your consideration to join the executive board, Megan Benelli, account supervisor at Stratacom. So Megan would be moving up again to the executive board to serve in the role as secretary. Next up, for board nominations, these are 3-year terms. For your consideration, Lisa Piers, creative director at Jack Morton Worldwide. Bianca Kashat, communications coordinator at the UAW Retiree Medical Benefits Trust, and David Whitman, APR principal at Smith Group. All of these folks represented as part of the slate have given of their time and talents to PRSA in sort of various capacities over the last several years. So we hope that you will consider them, and in a moment, a poll will pop up on your screen and give you the ability to approve the slate as presented to the chapter. So we'll give everybody a couple of moments to respond yay or nay to vote for the slate as presented. So again, everyone should have that poll right in front of them. If you can click yay or nay to submit your vote, and we'll give everyone a moment to do so. All right, 5 more seconds to input your votes. All right, thank you. As you can all see on your screen, the slate indeed does pass unanimously. So thank you so much for the opportunity to serve as the nominations committee chair, and congratulations to all of those who are continuing on and joining the board in 2022. And now I'll hand it back over to Sharon.
Thank you, Kim, and congratulations and thank you to our 2022 officers and board members. It is now my pleasure and privilege to pass the gavel to Michelle Gilbert. Hopefully there are many of you with us today who remember the passing of the gavel when we were in person, which we hope we will be for next year's annual meeting. All past presidents come to the front of the room and physically pass the gavel down the line to the incoming president. When I watched the passing of the gavel as an annual meeting attendee over the years, I was always inspired and so impressed by leaders who gave of their time and talents to support our chapter. It made me want to get more involved. And even though we are not together, I still feel inspired and impressed by those who have come before me and by our president-elect, Michelle Gilbert. Michelle supported me and my term with graceful guidance and provided some really good ideas. She helped our chapter launch a new level of sponsor cultivation, which will continue to grow and evolve under her leadership. She has the strategic acumen, the coalition building skills, and the can-do attitude that will make her a strong chapter president. I am proud and excited to officially, virtually pass the gavel to incoming president, Michelle Gilbert. Michelle, the president's gavel is now yours.
Thank you. Oh man, so this virtual passing of the gavel, I gotta admit, is a little bit awkward. That's okay. So thank you, Sharon, for handing over the symbolic gavel. I will take good care of it for the next year before I have the privilege of passing it over to Mary Beth Farkas, our president-elect. I want to publicly thank you, Sharon, for leading us through a very challenging year. You poured your heart and soul into our chapter to ensure that change would be a good thing, and you did an unbelievable job leading us through a true domino effect of change, and you made it look easy. So I'm honored to virtually present you with this gift from our chapter.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thanks, Michelle. Appreciate it.
So I just would like to share a brief story regarding how I got involved in PRSA. So nearly 8 years ago, I was fresh in a new job and feeling on top of the world. And about 2 months in, my new employer announced a merger. And as part of that merger, my region was going to be divested, and there was a really good chance that I would lose my job within a year. And that's when I thought I better join PRSA Detroit and start networking. So my story had a happy ending because the merger was denied by the US government. So my job was never spared. Just goes to show you they really don't like the cable industry. But the reason that I share this story with you is because joining and getting involved with PRSA Detroit can offer far more value if you're not behind the 8 ball within your professional journey the way I was. And I'm really glad that I got involved with PRSA because I've met many ridiculously talented professionals who will always return my text, my call, my email whenever I have a question or I need help. And it's not just about networking when you're looking for a new job. It's also about sharing best practices, learning from one another, and sometimes commiserating with each other as well. And that's really what networking is all about, right? Building and nurturing strong relationships that we can carry with us throughout our careers and even beyond. So as I attempt to fill Sharon's very big shoes, I'm so grateful for our board of directors, our committee members, and absolutely our sponsors who ensure that we can fulfill our mission to make communications professionals smarter, better prepared, and more connected through all stages of their career. I promise that I will serve you with unwavering support. My goal is to help more communication professionals see the value our chapter can offer, not just by joining, but by becoming an involved member. If you're not already a member, thank you. My ask is that you consider joining just one committee. We need you, and I believe you need us too. And if you're not a member, please consider joining. Don't make the mistake that I did and join when it's almost too late. I would be happy and honored to chat one-on-one with anyone who has interest or even a hesitation. I'd love to hear how we can provide more value to you. And if you have ideas, we want you to share them so they have a chance of turning into something amazing and wonderful that will benefit other communication professionals as well. I'm so committed to this that as soon as I get done talking, which will be in about 10 seconds, I'm going to put my email and my phone number in the chat. And I encourage you to take it down. Please reach out to me anytime. I've been doing this for the past few months and just reaching out to contacts that I know, trying to ask them, why are you not a member? What can we do to get you to join? And what I'm finding is that a lot of times it's because they've never been asked. So I'm asking you today. I'm also asking you to ask people that you know, because the more people that we can get involved, the more that we can learn from one another and grow together, the better off we're all going to be. And if you decide that you want to use my phone number or email to get help troubleshooting your internet woes, that's okay too. We will now begin our presentation to the chapter's newly accredited members, which will be led by PRSA Detroit Chapter Accreditation Chairs, Kristen Sokol, APR, and Jennifer Mrozowski, APR. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michelle, and thanks for those inspiring words. It promises to be a really great year. So the journey toward accreditation in the profession of public relations demonstrates a real commitment to the highest levels of practice and ethical standards. Though the course of study to earn this badge of honor is largely a solitary endeavor, it really does reflect a culmination of experience and mentorship earned by working alongside and learning from others. First and foremost, we thank the APRs and the Detroit chapter who have assisted us in this process by sitting on panels or mentoring candidates. We certainly could not do this without you. And if you, anyone in the audience, you are thinking of taking on the challenge of becoming an APR, know that we will support you every step of the way. This incredible journey is fulfilling personally and professionally, and it would be our honor to help you achieve this goal. And now I'll hand it over to my colleague, Kristen.
Thanks, Jen. The following honorees have completed the process of becoming accredited public relations professionals, which involves putting together a portfolio of work to present to a panel of APRs, followed by a comprehensive test on knowledge, skills, and abilities. This academic endeavor demonstrates candidates' competency, expertise, and ethical judgment required to practice public relations effectively. It is an important standard for those who depend on us to educate and motivate through strategic communication. On behalf of the PRSA Detroit, we'd like to congratulate Did I just say all of that on mute?
I didn't hear the winners.
Okay, thank you. Sorry for the snafu. On behalf of PRSA Detroit, we would like to congratulate the following newly accredited PRSA members: Kevin Burns, Dave Whitman, Crystal Wilson. Congratulations. We will now begin the presentation of the Donald P. DeRocher Memorial Scholarship. Chris Spinelli, PRSA Detroit Chapter Scholarship Committee Chair, will present this year's scholarship.
Thank you, Kristen and Jen. As mentioned, I'm Chris Bonelli, and I have the honor of presenting the Donald P. DeRocher Memorial Scholarship this year. As many of you know, each year the chapter selects 1 or 2 scholarship recipients from a strong list of applicants, and this year is no exception. To be eligible, candidates must be full-time undergraduate students enrolled through the calendar year and be majoring in either public relations, journalism, communications, or a related field. Our lone recipient this year greatly impressed the judges with her thoughtful essay responses, robust internship experiences, and PRSA leadership roles. In fact, she currently serves as the Wayne State University PRSA chapter president for this current year. Without further ado, please join me in congratulating the 2021 Donald P. DeRocher Memorial Scholarship recipient, Elizabeth Ryan.
Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Ryan, and I'm a senior communication major at Wayne State University and the current PRSA chapter president. I am honored to be attending the PRSA Detroit's annual meeting and accepting the 2021 Donald P. DeRocher Memorial Scholarship. Since high school, I have had an interest in public relations and communication. When I began to tour colleges, Wayne State connected with me because of the fun, inclusive environment. It felt like home, and as I researched more, I found out they had a well-renowned public relations program. Fast forward almost 4 years later, and I am so fortunate to be pursuing what I love. I have been an active member in the PRSA chapter at Wayne State. I've had the honor of serving on the executive board for 3 years and attended multiple international conferences, one of which was in sunny San Diego. I've had the chance to meet many of you PR professionals in the Detroit area, and I am very fortunate to have the continued opportunity to grow my network. Unfortunately, she is away at a conference and cannot be in attendance today, but I want to take the time to thank Dr. Shelley Nager, our Public Relations Program Director and PRSA Faculty Advisor, for being a mentor and someone that all her students can turn to. She has also been the person who recommended that I apply for the scholarship and has encouraged me every step of the way during my time at Wayne State. I would also like to thank Mary Hennege, Emily Wicker, Jamie Gittens, and Nina Ross for being such supportive personal and professional mentors. Lastly, I would like to thank the PRSA Detroit chapter for their continued support of our program and future public relations professionals like me. The Donald P. DeRocher Memorial Scholarship is greatly appreciated by not only me, but by all students that this scholarship has helped and will continue to help in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations once again, Elizabeth. I'll take this small moment to do a little plug ourselves as our new president did, that if you're interested in helping me and our small committee next year to find another excellent candidate or two like Elizabeth and also fundraise to support that scholarship, please contact me after as well for a lovely and very exciting 2022. Now with that, I'd like to introduce someone who needs no introduction, Miss Nancy Skidmore, who will present the Nancy Skidmore Award.
Hello, everyone. I'm back. I am very honored to present the 2021 Nancy Skidmore Award for Distinguished Chapter Service to Rachel Lepardue, APR. I have the original. Now, just a little bit of quick history. This original Nancy Skidmore Award was presented to me in 2016 from PRSA Detroit past president, Don Tanner. He totally surprised me, which, as you all know, was hard to do since I had the script for that evening. And every year I've been honored to present it to one of our members, Kara Davenport, Jamie Morris, APR, Megan Bonelli, and this year, Rachel. The recipient practices first and foremost is committed to PRSA Detroit's enduring strength as a respected and valuable institution. He or she has shown longtime dedication and responsibility to the organization and has aided in its consistency to provide quality programming for its members. Rachel has and is one of the chapter's very much appreciated volunteers. Her dedication and service to PRSA Detroit on the chapter's social media committee is invaluable. She has consistently maintained the chapter's social media presence, and her posts are relevant, engaging, and authentic. And just one thing I would like to plug, since my retirement 6.5 months ago, I have seen her daily post. They are daily. One last thing I'd like to say to Rachel is a huge thank you. When I was employed by PRSA Detroit, you never once, ever said no to me or Nancy, I can't do it right now. You always took my calls and helped me whenever possible. I read something not too long ago, and I won't quote it exactly, but it said something to the effect of every year the world becomes smaller, becomes more social, and becomes more connected. I've learned in retirement that this is truer than ever. Congratulations, Rachel.
Thank you so much, Nancy. I'm truly honored to receive this recognition. And, we all know Nancy is one of a kind. So I empower everyone to stop and ask themselves once in a while, what would Nancy do and how could I be more like her in both my professional and personal life? Nancy embodies many things, but most the definition of inclusion. She helped bring me into the fold and build on my best talents. And so I encourage everyone to reach out to someone who may want to be involved but doesn't know how, just as Nancy would do. Perhaps they're a freelancer, sole practitioner, or at a company as the only PR person, and the company doesn't understand the importance of PRSA, just as I was at one time. Be their liaison. And I also want to thank John Truscott for valuing PRSA and giving his team the support to be involved. And I echo Michelle's challenge for everyone to be more involved in 2022. The chapter offers many opportunities to be involved as much or as little as you want to. So thank you so much.
Great to see you, Nancy. Thank you for being here tonight. We miss you, but we're happy that you're enjoying a healthy and happy retirement. And congratulations, Rachel. And thank you so much for everything you do for our chapter. It's wonderful. We'll move on to the Hefty Award. The Robert Hefty Distinguished Service Award recognizes a practitioner for their long and significant service to the Detroit chapter. While APR accreditation is not required, the candidate must be a member of PRSA Detroit. Now I'd like to introduce PRSA Detroit board member, Janine Krasicki-Sadich, to present this year's Robert Hefty Distinguished Service Award. Janine?
Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate the introduction. I'm proud and honored to introduce my colleague and friend, Jennifer Flowers-Call, this year's recipient of the Robert Hefty Distinguished Service Award. I nominated Jennifer since she has actively served our chapter for more than 2 decades since joining PRSA after graduating from Michigan State University, where she had been PRSA president. As Jen established her PR career working for organizations like McCann Erickson, Leo Burnett, Henry Ford Health System, and Stellantis, PRSA volunteerism and leadership have been constants in her life. For PRSA Detroit, she has chaired new professionals, annual meeting, and accreditation committees before serving on the board, executive board, and then finally chapter president in 2012. During Jen's presidency, she made diversity and inclusion a strategic priority and established the Oakfield Dukes Diversity Summit in collaboration with Wayne State University. PRSA Detroit was one of 2 chapters nationally to receive an award, PRSA Chapter Diversity Award, at the international conference that year, helping to raise our national reputation. Jen was also the opening night gala co-chair when we hosted the 2007 International Conference. Beyond her PRSA Detroit involvement, Jen has served as PRSA East Central District Chair and as a PRSA National Board Nominating Committee member. She has also served as a Silver Anvil and East Central District Diamonds Award judge. Finally, she continues to serve regularly as a PRSA National Assembly chapter delegate and currently serves as the professional advisor for the University of Michigan Dearborn PRSA chapter. I believe that Jennifer's long legacy of service at the chapter, district, and national level for PRSA makes her a well-deserved winner of this award. And actually, I think she's the perfect person to answer what would Nancy do. I think that's what Jennifer does. She's always volunteering. Please join me in watching a short video and in congratulating Jennifer. Thank you.
I think I would describe Jennifer as an authentic, professional, ethical communicator. When I first hired Jennifer, she was already very involved with PRSA, providing meaningful educational sessions, coordinating events that allowed young professionals to network, and then she rose to the level of president. I really have a lot of admiration for her because she thinks beyond the individual role that she plays and really looks at the industry and how to elevate it for everybody.
Let's see, how do you summarize a 25-year career in short sentences? I always knew I wanted to work in communications in some capacity. I started off in the advertising world, worked at a company called Bozell Worldwide for Chrysler and Jeep. I kind of formed this little niche of a career in communications within the advertising agency world. And from there, I actually worked at several other advertising agencies. I worked at McCann Erickson Worldwide. I worked at Leo Burnett, Detroit. Now I'm working at Stellantis, which is the parent company for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, the former Chrysler. When I started in PRSA Detroit, I looked at the previous winners and I thought someday maybe I'll be like them, and it was something to aspire to as you look forward ahead in your career.
There was a certification program available through PRSA in ethics, and she came to me and said, I think this would be great for our entire team to go through. Those kinds of extra efforts that she put in made us a better organization. It wasn't any surprise to me when she was being awarded the Robert Hefty Distinguished Service Award.
To receive the Hefty Award, I think it's an affirmation of all that time and energy that I've given to the organization, but it really also means that I've gotten so much out of it because I've put all those years in.
Jennifer, I want to offer you my warmest congratulations. I'm so happy for you, and this award is so well deserved.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay, hopefully? Yes. Great. Well, I'll try to show my award here. Thank you very much. It's such an honor to be here with you all. And yes, next year, hopefully we can be together in person. Janine, thank you so much for your kind introduction and for nominating me. It's such a huge honor. And to the PRSA Detroit leadership, senior council, and membership, thank you very much for this special award. I'm truly honored to receive it. It's so special to be recognized along with the other incredible honorees. Congratulations to Rachel on her chapter service recognition. Lisa and Georgella, I've admired you my entire career. I couldn't be happier sharing this virtual stage with you tonight. PRSA Detroit has meant so much to me over these years. Serving the chapter has allowed me to expand my public relations and leadership abilities. I'm most grateful for the friendships I've developed, to be honest. One of the photos in the video that you guys just watched was of me when I was a Michigan State PRSA president in 1995 with my faculty advisor, mentor, and now the chapter's namesake, Ned Hubble. I want to honor his legacy tonight because he started me on my PR career journey, and I think he's watching from above as I receive this award tonight. Anyone who volunteers heavily for PRSA knows that you need the support of your workplace. I've been really lucky to work for some amazing companies and leaders, people like John Bailey, Eileen Wunderlich, Rose Glenn, who was my boss at Henry Ford, who you saw in the video, and Debbie Babcock was also my boss at Henry Ford. And of course, my current leaders, Sean Morgan and Beth Ann Bayes at Stellantis. I appreciate your mentorship and your support. Finally, I wouldn't be who I am today without my family. Extra special thanks to my mom, Margaret Flowers, who's always supported me in my dreams. And to my husband, Scott, for patiently putting up with all of my late nights at work and for being my biggest supporter. Thank you, PRSA Detroit, for this recognition, and I look forward to continuing to serve the chapter for many more years to come. Happy holidays.
Congratulations, Jennifer. I will never forget attending one of my first annual meetings when you took the podium as chapter president. Your humor, passion, and vision inspired me then and now. Congrats again. And now we transition to the Hall of Fame Awards. But before we do, we have asked John Truscott, CEO at Truscott Rossman, to lead a remembrance of Kelly Rossman McKinney, APR, last year's Hall of Fame Award recipient, who passed away last week after a long battle with cancer. Welcome, John.
Thanks, Sharon. Really appreciate this opportunity to remember with a woman who was my dear friend, my former business partner, and my work wife. We actually spent more time together than we did with our spouses, so we got to know each other pretty well. Kelly was really touched last year when you inducted her into the Hall of Fame, and it meant so much to her. And those who remember, she was right in the middle of her fight with cancer, and it was a very, very tough fight, but she sure hadn't lost her edge at the time. And the fact that you recognize Rachel Lapoudre this evening, Kelly would have been so proud. First, because she was always pushing people to get their APR, which Rachel did, but also because she was a champion of young women in the field. And Rachel is definitely following in Kelly's tradition that way. But I was asked to share a few memories, and at a time like this, it's those memories that really make her loss bearable. Anyone who knew Kelly will understand the first two words of her official obituary, and I'll say, pardon my French, but it starts with, well, shit. And of course, symbols are used in the obituary, but that's something she often said, and those of us who know her and love her, that's what we feel like right now. She was a very special person. Her sense of humor was unsurpassed. She was so quick with a response, and she could wake up any room. But it was her sincere commitment to helping people that I think will really be her lasting legacy. Kelly shattered the glass ceiling in PR and public affairs in Lansing. And what she fought through would really make the hair on the back of your neck stand up today. But she pulled many young women along with her. For example, when she applied for the Lansing Downtown Rotary, can you believe they didn't allow women in when she first applied? But that's where business people met, so she had to be there. And as one of the first women accepted into the Rotary, she called herself the Ovarian Rotarian. And when she gave her intro speech to the members, she happened to be pregnant at the time. And you have to remember, not everybody wanted a woman in the Rotary. So she walked up to the podium, she slipped her shoes off and said, there, just like you want us, barefoot and pregnant. The place, they lost it. It roared, and she became an instant institution in the downtown Rotary. Kelly was also very proud of her Detroit roots. Graduating from Finney High School and then Wayne State, she really took every opportunity to go back and speak to students about PR, but it was more than speaking. She would extend a hand and help people advance in their careers. I'm fond of saying there isn't a charity she didn't support or a person she didn't try to help. She was just that type of person. And if you read what people have said or written about her, she was larger than life in so many ways. And so many people have heartwarming stories about how she stepped in to help out, or make an introduction, or just be there in a difficult time to say, you got this, kiddo. I mentioned she was my work wife. Can you imagine buying a cottage with your business partner? Well, we did, and we had a blast sharing it. I wasn't married at the time, so even when it was my weekend, I'd invite her and her husband, Officer Dave, to spend time with me, and we just enjoyed our time together. And that included a lot of laughs, like the time we were going to pitch a client, and we stopped at McDonald's. Kelly was always drinking hot tea. She bought a really large hot tea, and her cup holder was always full of change, so the cup didn't go down very far. Well, she peeled out of the parking lot, made a jerky turn, and the cup of tea tipped over, the top came off, and it all spilled right in my lap. Well, of course, I go to jump up to get away from all the tea sitting in the chair. And you know what seatbelts do when you get a quick jerk. It locked me in. So I'm sitting there in a full large cup full of tea, and we both just laughed our heads off and went and had a great time pitching the client. Or when she was moderating the dinner and said, "This looks like it's going to be quite an event," when your ex-husband is sitting at a table next to your state senator who called you a hooker. True words. Kelly was a huge advocate for PRSA. She loved this chapter and the people, and it's full of so many legends of the PR world. And one of them, Kelly tried to recruit. We ran into John Bailey after an Econ Club luncheon, and he wouldn't really talk to us about business at all because he said he had a non-compete. And Kelly said, "Won't you at least go on a date with me?" And John, being the most ethical person in PR, said, "Not until my non-compete runs out." The day after it ran out, Kelly was on the phone rekindling their friendship and encouraging him to join TR, and he's still a valuable member of our team to this day. But one thing Kelly was always concerned about was if I'd take her name off the firm, which I would never do. And she said she'd hunt me down and kill me if I did anyway. So when we rebranded a few years ago, I called her and I wanted to run the new logo by her. She thought I had a new logo, new name, everything, and she was really concerned. And when I showed her the logo, she was just so happy and pleased that her name was still on the firm. And I reaffirmed I will never take it off. And now I want people to know what she meant to me and what she means to our profession. I'm going to end with Kelly's top 10 list. This was just part of her speech when she received the Athena Award a few years ago. And I think it best sums up her humor and also the way she lived her life. There's something for all of us on this list. And of course, her top 10 list has 11 items because, well, that's just Kelly. Number one, when your own state senator compares you to a hooker, don't take it lying down, so to speak. Number two, accept the fact that men will be called and commended for being aggressive, assertive, direct, decisive, and powerful. You'll be called a bitch. But remember, bitch is an acronym for boys, I'm taking charge here. That was one of her favorite phrases. Number four, have a great group of chicks in charge friends. They'll keep you humble, but they'll hold you up when you're at your lowest. They will always have your back. Here's to the chicks in charge. Number five, if you're going to marry often, make sure you have wonderful men who actually like each other and will hang out together at your kids' wrestling matches, football, basketball, volleyball games. And remember, they all have a common goal: tolerating you. Next, marry a man who not only has a tremendous sense of humor, but also wears Kevlar and carries a gun. This will keep you humble and cautious. And thanks to the love cop, Officer Dave. If you can't be at one of your kids' games, make up for it by being the loudest mom in the bleachers. They will be mortified and won't mind the next time you miss a game. Number eight, have a high bar and don't lower it for anyone. The people who work with you will hate you for it at the time, but also know it's what makes your team the absolute best in the business. 9, be prepared to laugh at yourself early and often. Remember, everybody else already is. Number 10, don't be a member of anything in name only. Step up, speak up, act up, give of yourself, your time, your money, your name, and your support. And she certainly did. And last but not least, don't just have a job, have a passion. It makes it so much easier to get up in the morning. To my dear friend, partner, and work wife, we love you, Kelly. We'll miss you, but we'll never forget you. Thank you, the Detroit chapter of the PRSA.
Thank you, John. What a giant. She will be missed. Thank you so much for leading this remembrance with our members. I send my deepest condolences to you and your team at Truscott-Rossman, fellow PRSA members, friends, and colleagues who are grieving the loss of Kelly Rossman McKinney. And now we pivot to a happy time. For the pinnacle of our chapter awards, induction into the Hall of Fame is the highest recognition our chapter can bestow. It reflects a practitioner's significant contribution to the profession, as well as the Southeast Michigan community. APR accredited and retired candidates are given special consideration. This year, we have 2 Hall of Famers, Georgella Bascom Muirhead, APR, and Lisa Valley Smith, APR. Each awardee has chosen a special colleague to say a few words and tee off short videos for each of them. I'd like to introduce Marilyn Horn, President and CFO, Van Dyke Horn Public Relations. Marilyn will introduce our first Hall of Fame awardee, Georgella Bascom Muirhead, APR. Welcome, Marilyn. Marilyn, you're muted.
And my apologies.
There you go.
Some clapping. Good evening, everyone. I would like to introduce my colleague and my dear friend, Georgella Muirhead, who has always embodied PRSA professional values in every facet of her career. From the serving as co-owner of Bird Muirhead and Associates to leveraging relationships for the greater good of the Detroit community. Georgella is known for her never cookie cutter approach to public relations. She has always leveraged her expertise to create unique, memorable events and campaigns to ensure all segments of the community were fairly represented and felt included. During the 13 years that we've worked together, I can personally attest, really, that Georgella has been a role model for me and many other professionals to follow. I am pleased to present this well-deserved honor, the 2021 PRSA Detroit Hall of Fame Award, to my good friend, Georgella. Congratulations.
I've been knowing Georgella Muirhead for about 15 years. She was in the middle of her amazing PR career, and she had a vast amount of experience working in corporate governmental entities as well as an established business owner with her partner, the late Bob Berg.
When we decided to do this public relations agency, it was the first agency where both practitioners came out of municipal government. And so our perspective was very different. The entire agency, from the partners on down, represented the community that we loved, Detroit. We wanted to be a part of the city.
Even though she looked young, we shared that, she was bold. She fought for a space in public relations, not only as a woman, but as an African American. She always wanted to do things differently and out of the box, and we were always along for the ride.
I think the kinds of projects that we did, the kinds of impact that we made, set it up for the next generation of public relation firms that are doing outstanding work. And certainly that includes Van Dyke Horn Public Relations, the agency that bought our agency.
Georgella probably would never speak to herself as a pioneer or a role model, but she doesn't have to. Her work speaks for itself. She always maintained the highest level of ethics and practices in public relations.
A couple of principles that I have used all my life is that I go to jail for nobody. You have to have principles. You have to have a line in the sand that you personally are not willing to cross, no matter what.
She has always practiced public relations to the highest level of mastery. I'm just really proud of her and really proud to call her my friend and my mentor.
I am so respectful of this industry and the colleagues in this industry, and to think that after all this time, they would think that I was deserving of such an award, I'm just speechless.
Congratulations, Georgella, on this most highly esteemed award. I'm so proud of you, and I hope that we can continue to live up to your amazing legacy.
Wow. I am greatly humbled and honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I would like to offer my sincerest gratitude to PRSA Detroit for this honor. To me, tonight's award validates to me that my career has made a difference in the Detroit public relations community, and hopefully in the lives of developing PR practitioners. Almost 45 years ago, as a young practitioner, I joined PRSA Detroit. My objective was simple: I wanted to be a part of a professional organization that would embrace me and provide the mentorship and guidance I needed. At one of our first meetings, I met the late Jerry Lundy, a dynamic PR professional. Jerry was exactly the kind of PR pro I wanted to become. Over the years, Jerry, a fellow PRSA Hall of Famer, mentored me through my career. Through triumphs and disappointments, he helped me keep each of those achievements and disappointments in perspective. One of the things I most admired about Jerry is that even though he was at the height of his career, he still took the time to mentor me, a young professional, and he continued to mentor me until I became established. Throughout my career, I have tried to be a Jerry Lundy kind of PR practitioner, one that offers a helping hand to the next generation. Today, I extend a challenge to each of you to consider embracing this legacy and offer an assist to those that are following. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the people that supported me along the way. First, I will be externally and internally grateful for the friendship of my business partner, the late Bob Berg. Bob and I co-founded Berg Muirhead & Associates and operated it for 20 years. This is an accomplishment that we both are so very proud of. I would like to also thank Van Dyke Horn Public Relations Partners, Peter Van Dyke and Marilyn Horn, for this nomination. And I would like to give a shout out to Barbara Bartos, a good friend of mine who also offered an assist in this. To my friend and colleague, Crystal, now APR, thank you for making my career seem so exciting and magical in the video. To my very supportive family, my sons, John and Michael, Mike's wife, Mary, and my amazing grandson, Miles, as well as my siblings, Christine, George, and Darlene, thank you so much for always being there. And finally, to all the coworkers, former employees, friends, people on the street, anyone who helped me along the way, thank you so very, very much. I am so grateful. And finally, thank you, PRSA Detroit, for this honor.
Congratulations, Georgella. Thank you for those insightful words. Congratulations. And now I'd like to welcome Keith Donovan, President, Airfoil Communications, to bring on Hall of Fame awardee, Lisa Valley-Smith, APR. Keith?
Thank you, Sharon, and hello, everyone. I have the great pleasure to introduce Airfoil's founder, CEO, and now PRSA Detroit Hall of Fame recipient, Lisa Valley-Smith. Beyond Lisa's immeasurable contributions to the PR industry and the Southeast Michigan marketing and public relations community over the past 30 years, one of the greatest hallmarks of Lisa's career and of her personally is the generosity of her spirit and the philanthropic efforts she has led in our community. Airfoil's good fortune, coupled with Lisa's family foundation, have allowed her to make many meaningful community and professional contributions. She created Airfoil's annual Week of Caring, which harnesses the energy of the collective staff to actively volunteer with social services agencies such as Forgotten Harvest, the American Heart Association, and most recently, the Ronald McDonald House. As part of Airfoil's 20th anniversary, Lisa funded a film to recognize the increasingly important role journalists play in our democracy and in our culture, along with financial support for the American Democracy Project. Another film jointly underwritten by Lisa and Airfoil will help address education inequality in partnership with the National Education Equality Lab and Robin Schwartz Productions. And in recognition of her Hall of Fame award, the Smith Family Foundation is contributing two $5,000 scholarships each, both to the PRSA Detroit Gerald Lundy Scholarship Fund and to Wayne State University's Journalism Institute for Media Diversity. I've had the good fortune to spend the last 15 years working alongside Lisa and to experience firsthand her enduring entrepreneurialism, creativity, passion for our profession, and kindness. And above all, it's Lisa's generosity and the passion she carries for her community that stands out the most. I also know how important family is to Lisa, and Lisa wishes to thank her husband, Jeff Smith, and her children, Gerard and Christian Smith, for their support of Airfoil's extensive philanthropy throughout the past 21 years of business. Lisa, thank you for all that you have done for the PR industry in Detroit, for our community, for Airfoil, and for me personally. Congratulations on your award. And now we have a short video.
Lisa Valley Smith is an incredible supporter of the public relations program at Wayne State. Certainly she has been an important part of the Wayne State University public relations and communication community for many, many years.
Wayne State University is my alma mater. It taught me pretty much every practical skill that I needed for my career and in life.
She began her career promoting the city of Detroit, and that passion for the city has continued to drive much of what she does. After several years of working in the agency world, including a stint as president of Franco of Public Relations, she founded Airfoil about 20 years ago.
It's been so amazing to be on the front lines of incredible technology companies that are literally looking to change the world in so many interesting and clever ways.
She was one of the first Detroit agencies to bring in tech firms as clients from California and New York, so she's really been a trailblazer in that regard.
It's just been an incredible, thrilling career, and it's so fun at this point in my personal life to be able to look back and reflect on everything that I've been able to do, everything that I've been able to experience. PRSA Detroit has been the source of incredible friends and comrades that I have enjoyed working with and look forward to working with the rest of my career and my life for that fact.
I think Lisa is deserving of this important recognition from the PRSA community because of the way in which she has redefined public relations practice. She has actively engaged in the tech community and uses new technologies very aggressively in the practice of public relations. She is a model for integrity in a field that really needs those models.
One of the things that I've really learned and internalized is being humane, leading with humanity and humility, and just to counsel your clients and your peers and your teams to always try and do the right thing.
I am delighted to congratulate my friend and colleague, Lisa Valley Smith, for this important recognition of an amazing career. Congratulations, Lisa.
Well, thank you so very much for what is indeed a very great and incredible honor. I have many people to thank for this unexpected award. Matt Seeger, Keith Donovan, Sharon Newman, Colleen Robar and the Hall of Fame Committee, PRSA Detroit Leadership, and the Annual Meeting Committee, the incomparable Nancy Skidmore, and Michelle Gilbert and Bill Harder at Comcast for these wonderful annual meeting videos. As this award is the last item on tonight's meeting agenda, I will keep this very brief and simply say that it has been a privilege to be a part of and serve this incredible public relations community. And I am deeply grateful to be in the same company as Kelly Rossman McKinney, Georgella Muirhead, John Bailey, Colleen Robar, Bud Liebler, Jim Bianchi, Jerry Lundy, Matt Seeger, Nancy Kane, Jack Harned, Pam Young, Scott Simons, and Bev Belter, among others. And also grateful for so many fellow work associates, clients, and of course, dear airfoilers over more than 20 years, including Janet Tyler and Tracy Perry. And most of all, my loving and supportive husband, life partner, co-parents, and silent partner in all of my business ventures, the good and the bad, Jeff Smith, who has been a cornerstone of strength, spirituality, and leadership for me and our children, Chris and Gerard. Thank you once again, and I look forward to many more years of being of service to PRSA Detroit. Thank you.
On behalf of PRSA Detroit, Lisa, I want to thank you for your scholarship donation. Thank you for this legacy. Well, our time together, celebrating, reflecting, looking ahead, and even taking time to grieve together reminds me why my PRSA Detroit community is so important to me. Before we end the evening, I want to make a quick plug about our 2022 retreat, which will take place on Friday, the 3rd of December. We want you there. Join a committee and be a part of 2022 activities. There is a need for your talents, and we want you there. We will have breakfast and you will observe an abbreviated board meeting, and then we will jump right into 2022 planning led by incoming President Michelle Gilbert. Thank you to the annual meeting committee for coordinating this event, and to PRSA Detroit sponsor Display Group for supporting this program. To Comcast Bill Harder, Senior Manager of Creative Services with the Heartland region of Comcast Cable, for creating tonight's beautiful videos. Congratulations to our esteemed and inspiring awardees and all who helped serve PRSA Detroit throughout the past year. Thank you and good night.
Congratulations, Lisa and Georgella. Love you all.
Thank you,
and
ladies.
Jennifer and Elizabeth.
Congratulations to you all. Thank you so much for
Great
everything
meeting,
tonight.
Sharon and team. Right on time, perfectly executed.
2 minutes over.
Thank you all so much.
Yes, thanks to the annual meeting committee. Absolutely. Gold star.